NCRP Productions presents Wrath and Glory, The Price of Water, Part 2.
Hello, this is Josh. Today we're playing Wrath and Glory module, Reign of Mercy, coming back for Episode 2. I will be your GM today, and we'll go ahead and introduce the players starting on my right.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Delta Signus 4-5, and I am a human cyborg Scutarius.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I am running Constantina, the Sister of Battle. Love thy Emperor.
Hey everyone, it's Barry. I'm running Abbasi Grayling the Sixth. I am the Rogue Trader.
Hello everyone, my name is Dave, and I am playing the Space Marine Scout Octavian, member of the Absolvers.
So last time, our congregation landed on the shrine world of Holy Enoch to pursue their objective of investigating claims of a local saint amongst the cults of a fishing village called Morncleft. When they landed, they took in the dire straits that the people of Morncleft found themselves in without the food and water needed to feed all of their populace as well as their pilgrims. So after that, they observed the feeding time on the wall and decided to head out into the shanty town in pursuit of the cult known as the Waterbringers.
Right on.
Excellent. To the heretics.
One thing that we skipped last time, we found that our Scutarii, Delta Signus 4-5, was able to complete their objective. And Sequoia, could you tell us a little bit more about what you did to accomplish that objective and earn that wrath point?
Yeah, this unit's objective was to extol the virtues of augmentations over weakness of flesh. And I very, very clearly found a solution to the saltwater issue that the fishing village is having and suggested they all augmentate their faces so that they have a filtration system built in.
Unfortunately for the fishing village, that was a little too costly in resources, and they weren't able to pursue that solution. But it was a very creative and mechanical one. So for that, Sequoia earns a point of wrath.
Okay, and then normally, tell us a little bit, what are the objectives? Is this something we start with? Let the listeners at home know what we're doing with objectives.
The objective is a bit of a role-playing cue for your character. It kind of helps you get into the faction of the character. They're specific based on the character's faction. You roll a six-sided die and you get a random objective, and you attempt to do that during the course of gameplay. If you succeed, you will earn a wrath.
Okay, and of course, we all have our objectives quietly hidden here. We did them so that we could surprise each other with what each of our objectives were. So moving forward, will DS45 have a new objective?
So yes, in this case, DS45 for this episode is going to roll a second objective to complete.
Awesome.
And keep it quiet, and hopefully we'll see the objective overcome during the episode.
Yep. And if you re-roll the same thing, roll again.
It'd be funny if it was a socially accepted and positively responded to joke. So you're like, machine.
Two cans walk into a bar.
So, to set the scene, the four members of the party are exiting a previously barred, bolted-in door that was for a tunnel that led beneath the wall, or through the wall, basically. One thing that I mentioned last time was that, you would have to meet Rashida there. If you do get there, I just wanted to mention, you are within a kilometer of her house. If she happens to be at her house prior to you guys going through the tunnel, she shared her signal frequency. So you could contact her if she happens to be at her house, and you guys with your Vox speed.
Oh, really? Okay. Cool.
You are within range of her house here.
Nice.
So that's just something to retcon. Since she did
last game, we realized that you are the only one that has some kind of long distance, long range communication device. In this case, being a mile. Is that what I heard?
A kilometer.
A kilometer. Excuse me.
So,
English. Yes, a kilometer.
Okay.
Kilometer. 1 kilometer.
So, as you guys head out into the shanty town, you find just an enormous, multicolored field of tents and propped up buildings. The smell is worse than anything you could imagine, just as far as the smell of fish guts and decrepit decay.
Are they doing anything to move their waste to a central, out of the area location? Or are they just crapping outside their house?
Yeah,
in
so
their tents?
there's probably some areas where waste
latrines.
gathers up. Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere to get out of, you would have to go for miles to get out of the shanty town, and there's no resources, obviously. So,
Okay, so there's no cliffside crapper.
no, yeah, not for these guys. I mean, they would have to go a long way.
If there was, I don't think we'd smell it.
That's what I'm asking.
So right, it's pretty gnarly. So,
I gotta say, I do like the idea of a store called the Cliffside Crapper.
What would they sell?
Well, no, they sell
Fake
the
dog
right
poop.
to sit on a toilet, which is basically just a hole above the.
Which is a luxury to actually
Yeah, it's
sit
a
on
luxury.
a toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
it's a luxury item.
Rather than go crap in a trench.
Yeah, exactly. Or somewhere in town. No,
Yeah.
you go to the Cliffside Crapper.
You just sit
and
down. Maybe there's a bidet.
Yeah. They have magazines or whatever the equivalent
Something to
is here.
read.
Now, if it was automated, could DS45 get another wrath point for suggesting that as a way to move refuse from the shanty town? Yeah.
Obviously, you should put your butts over open air.
yeah, I think that's safe.
Heated toilet
Safe
seat.
So, so the,
Toilets, you bring in the flamethrower and
You do
go
it.
ahead.
Allow me to augment.
That's nice and toasty.
Nice. Yeah. Kept it on for you.
All right, that's the no more poop jokes for the rest of the year.
We've hit the
January
quota.
1st.
I didn't say anything about poop.
You
I'm talking about creature comforts here.
Everyone poops, Koya.
We're talking about quality of life.
No,
You tell me.
So we're
You got a
moving through
choice.
this
Walk
awful
into
and dung
the
heat.
yeah, so the sound of the crowd
That's
kind of
good, though.
dispersing and making their way back from the feeding time. The sound of the crowd is kind of loud, so you hear a lot of people, talking and moving about. And,
Now, I suspect that we were trying to engage while
Yeah.
at the,
You're-
kind of the peak of this activity to try and, filter through, not wait
Yeah.
until it was kind of dying
Well, they're
down.
distracted by the fish guts being
Exactly.
fired.
Yeah, that's fair.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, y'all, let's have you leaving the tunnel, at sort of towards the end of it. So,
Okay.
to where you're not going to necessarily lose the sight of the guys you found. So you leave.
Definitely
the
don't want to lose sight of it.
So what's oddly absent as far as sounds from this part of the town, though, is the heavy chug of like Imperial machinery and like different vehicles or industry of any type, different winches or things that you heard inside the fishing village. So this kind of unsettles Delta Signus a little bit, and you don't have a lot of light out here either. Most of the light sources are of flames and not actual lumens, but there may be like a few like kind of flickering light bulbs basically that are like jealously guarded by like 30 people just to have enough light to see by nighttime. So the only other source of light is that occasionally you'll see the skin plants glowing on the people's face, and that almost gives enough light to read by closely.
I was going to ask, so do the skin plants give
Yeah.
enough light?
They have LEDs buried subcutaneously into their flesh. So they're giving the hum of the collective LEDs is enough to see something close up.
So there must be some kind of bioelectric feedback that's allowing them to stay powered, because otherwise, or solar something, or otherwise, flick, 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 and it goes out until morning.
The
So,
will of the Emperor.
so we see that at least the two factions that we have been told the names of, but are there other like common glyphs?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like smaller groups that
But we're seeing like this is a symbol of like a unit or community.
Yeah. So the ones that are specifically openly displaying their allegiance have very very certain designs and colors that they're doing. And anybody that might, show such a design to a person that maybe doesn't have their best interest in mind could be targeted. So they've now come to be sort of a gang affiliation or a cult affiliation. So they do in some way give off, a statement about the person. And there are other gangs here than the two that have been introduced, so you might see some smaller, less threatening gangs as well.
Would I assume that these skin plants that are on people's faces, that these are being done here on the planet? That these were
Yes.
not, this is not what they came here in their pilgrimage. This is not how they came here. They got here, and then these things are being put into their skin and augmenting their face and their bodies.
Right. There are definitely some augmentation shops in town that do these for the populace.
And when you say in
Within the
town, are we
wall?
talking?
They're within the fishing village, yeah. So actually, there's probably a lot more going on outside of the village now. That
I was going to say, because I didn't. Did we understand? Did I understand correctly? The pilgrims are not being allowed in the town at any time.
I mean, most yes, that is mostly the case.
So it'd be
there may
safe-
be an exception.
It'd be safe to assume that these augmentations were done before the wall was
Well,
constructed.
Think about it like prison tattoos. So,
Okay.
you have like the whole design and the tech to do it, right, is sort of mainstream and held within the fishing village. But then as it becomes, as the skills necessary and the technology required is shared, then people start to do lower, level versions of that.
Right.
Like cheaper and more dangerous,
Got a
possibly.
needle and a bic.
And the equipment
Yeah.
to do that. I mean, not the equipment. I'm sorry. The stock, the
Yeah,
components.
they seem to
they
have a
put
lot
in-
of components,
Yeah.
for sure. So that was probably something that was built up in large quantity before, before they were cut off. It was built up and stockpiled because it was one of like their main tourist pilgrim things.
So people would come here like henna
Yeah.
tattoos at a
Right.
carnival. They would come here and they'd get these skin plants to show that they had come to this
Right.
planet,
Right.
to this shrine world. Holy
Right.
Enoch. Okay.
Exactly. So it's kind of a sign that, hey, I went here, kind of a...
And now we're believing it's more of a gang affiliation.
So now it's been repurposed by
Right,
the people
with
on
isolation.
that's trapped here. Yeah. So right, they've kind of abused it and malformed it into something different. And as I said before, it even goes so far as to like you could be a member of a gang and you could kind of flash a signal to another gang member just by changing the lights on your face. And they have like codes and kind of different languages. So they've sort of been expanded beyond just a simple pilgrim memento.
And if I remember correctly from last time, Enforcer Rashida had told us that the deluge were actually a problem or an issue, but they were the only ones. She didn't tell us that there were
Just the ones we saw. I
fighting
So-
gangs.
She
or-
mentioned multiple.
She did mention that the water bringers are known to sort of extort the populace for their water at times. While some claim that they give water to those who donate, others claim that they charge an arm and a leg, and that they're sort of really taking more from the people than they need to. So it's kind of up to you guys if you want to ask or talk to any of the shantytown people, or kind of try to glean or investigate at all before you go and follow these guys, or if you just want to follow them straight to their destination.
I think initially, at least my thought was we were heading straight to the water bringers.
I'm
Yeah.
going to approach them while they're in
Okay.
the crowd.
Because in the end, we're not going after the water bringers. We want to see their
Wanna
saint.
verify
Take us to your
the
leader,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure I'm reading that right too.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have you guys heading towards where the feeding time happened on the wall to find these guys that were basically right there 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh yeah, interesting. So the deluge we saw were not accepting the fish.
Right.
Were the water bringers?
No,
they
not
now?
that you saw at the time.
And are the water bringers as physically fit as the deluge?
Not quite. No.
Okay.
No. They look more like the average.
The
member.
deluge
Yeah.
really stand out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are the water bringers all wearing similar clothing? Do any of them have any kind of like pope hats?
No, they're all pretty modestly routine. Pretty.
But there's
modestly
no one who's
consistent.
like, that looks like a deacon or whatever.
Not that you only saw 3 of them in the crowd.
Okay.
So
but they all look generally the similar.
Yeah, those
level.
3 were pretty similar.
Okay.
Basically dyed rags of blues and greens, and some kind of earthy, some sky or sea-like skin plants of blue and green as well.
To the water bringers.
To the water bringers.
So when we
Are you
come
guys
out,
just
I was
walking
having to
up?
scan and try and find if they're still in the same spot.
Yeah, so it's not hard to find them in the crowd.
How many of them are there?
There's 3 water bringers.
And they're kind of hanging out together.
They're hanging out together, and they're kind of walking sort of in a procession, not just like, oh, hey, how's everybody doing? But they're kind of walking with their hands together, with their hoods over.
Do people give them space, or do they kind of push
Yeah.
through the crowd?
Like the deluge.
They're respected, but they don't seem to be quite as feared.
Where are they going?
They're headed away from the crowd,
I say we follow.
away from the wall.
Okay.
All right, so I was hoping to maybe.
Do you want to tail them or openly
I want
approach
to
them?
directly, engage them.
Wait. I say we tail them and we see where they're going first. I mean, we can always do the frontal assault thing, but
Well, I thought the plan was that we were gonna go into the crowd and then go, interact with them.
find them.
That does bring up a good question. Is there an inherent hierarchy within our different clans?
Not necessarily. You're all agents of your
We're all
respective
a similar
factions.
level.
Abbasi is the closest thing you would have to a leader.
Exactly.
He's assembled you. He represents the Veronius dynasty that dispatched you to see to this. So he's the closest thing you have to a leader, but it's a rough hierarchy. You don't report to
Not
him.
that rough to me. I understand it.
Yeah, you all have people you report to.
Yeah, but I
You
mean,
know,
within this
separate
group,
but close.
the pecking order is unestablished, except for
No.
Abbasi.
It's been established. I've told you what the pecking order is. Fall in line.
You're here in service of the rogue trader to comply with this request. So in a sense, yes, your duty would say you're following Abbasi, but you wouldn't hesitate to go against him if you felt like that.
Although
was
right
best.
now I'm good with us actually following the scout.
So we don't want to engage them directly. We want to just tail them.
Yes, I'd like to see where they're going. If I was setting up a tough squad that was going to sell things at an exorbitant price or extort people for money, I wouldn't bring that back to my shrine or where I've set up my home base. I would have it hidden to the side.
It
As
depends on the
such,
questions that are asked, right? We might, So my thought was that okay, if they're here, these people represent the reason we're here on this planet. We should engage them directly and ask specific questions, hoping to get specific answers.
and we will. But I say for the moment we get out of the crowd and see where they take us.
The crowd does not bother me.
They may interact with others here. We might be able to see how they interact with them.
That's a good idea too.
But it is up to you if you wish to engage.
No. It's up to me if we wish to engage them. But what I'm saying is this. I believe through your eyes of the Emperor, and I believe through your mind as the Emperor would tell you, sister, and then those things the DS-45 sees that none of the rest of us see, I believe that we should follow and watch. Maybe something they do will give us some kind of a look into their heresy.
Your reluctance reeks of fear.
It's not fear, it's intelligence. I noticed that that's one of the things your kind don't get a second of. Praise.
I just stare.
And he says that, about listening to him, and I will look at him. Well, look down on you. I think we're all taller because, actually, no, I'm regular human. That's right. I'm not augmented.
Yeah, he's way bigger than the rest of you.
So I'll look to you, emotionless face, and then I'm gonna look to you for what to do next. Not openly in defiance, but at the same time, I care kind of a little bit more about him, what he says.
There's gonna be a little whirring sound of DS-45.
Hard drive activity.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you start hearing a click, we gotta kind of hit the back of your head.
Just that the baud rate drops to 2400. Great.
Weed! Just a little blue light on my forehead.
Oh, the hourglass.
The spin. Please wait.
I say, I exist to serve, accomplish duty, and the will of the Emperor.
Yes.
And if that comes in the form of this man, then right now, duty prevails over all.
And we shall trail this man.
This unit finds the use of colorful lights on the faceplate very ingenious. It is an excellent way to signal things across a battlefield.
I would suggest that your tactics prove successful.
This unit would appreciate a chance to observe, possibly through dissection, how the LEDs are applied in the skin. That is a secondary objective.
Then let us get to the primary objective so you may have a chance.
Yeah, I'm not certain how to respond. I believe it's possible. Well, let's say it this way. I believe if there is heresy afoot, which it most certainly seems as such, you will have no trouble with that.
This pleases this unit.
Maybe we can get the traitor drunk and get him a tattoo.
If there are anything that remains of the heretics that have these implants, you may have your exploration upon them.
There's another little whirring. And shall we proceed?
So, are the water traders or the water
Bringers.
wandering away from the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you
So-
can attempt to tail them and,
Yes.
and roll stealth.
So we're disregarding the other guys for now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Roll
right.
stealth. All right.
So if you don't have the skill, which I don't, just roll
Just right.
and always the wrath
Yeah,
die.
unless otherwise stated, include the wrath die
Bad.
In addition or in replacement?
in a
of
replacement of
okay,
one.
That's how I've been doing.
I'm rolling a lot of dice here.
Yeah.
Only one.
Oh, oops, I'm sorry. 8. Sorry. Okay.
I have 4 icons for stealth.
Tell me how the glory points work again.
You can add a die. You can add damage or severity. So
Okay.
yeah. So we
So you can
could.
do
So
these
you could
things.
spend one.
So, explain to me. So
Also-
the
also
6 is
wrath.
2, right?
Yeah, you could use that and do
Okay.
that.
So
I
the
think-
6 is 2.
And I can
2,
reroll
5,
all my
and
failures.
4 and
Yes.
5s are
But 4 is a
Okay.
success.
Oh, but
So,
I
and,
got a
and I have a
complication.
5 on
I
the.
guess
So
I should
I've
go.
got 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 total.
Yeah, you
6
can't roll.
icons,
You can't
right?
reroll complications.
Sure. Okay.
Am I calculating that right? I have 6 icons.
Nice.
1, 2, 3,
Oh.
5, 6. Yes.
I'll spend one wrath also to reroll.
Okay, so I have 4 icons and 1. I forget the word. I got a 1 on my wrath die. Complication.
Oh,
So 4. So 6, 4,
I got
4, and 2.
It's not a bad motivator. I'll blow a fuse and then part subterfuge.
Wee woo, wee woo.
It's all battery low.
working.
Yeah.
Working.
I get a
So-
control delete.
Start beeping. Like, you know, oh, I gotta plug in.
And everybody's looking at him and he's just walking. It is just walking.
Yeah.
So you attempt to tail the 3 water bringers at a distance that's pretty safe. Keep into the shadows where you can. Everything seems to be going really well.
So I have, because of my augmentations, I have this low light vision, right, as part of my plan, and then I also have this like hearing thing.
Yeah,
So,
so-
I'm gonna be trying to like listen in if I can hear anything that they might be talking about, as well as using all my implants.
So how that's reflected in the game is that if you're taking a test that one of your implants can in some way benefit you, then you can roll an extra die.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're doing an audible perception test or if you're, doing, an awareness test
Okay.
in general. So
19 implants.
yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track with what all they can do. So
A lot.
there's a reference
Wow.
sheet for that.
I thought, I was reading it. I'm like, cool. Because you said it's getting dark, right?
Yeah, it's
And it's
yeah.
not
I mean,
real-
It was
it's
dusk.
Well, are they
it's-
carrying some type of light source? Are they wearing like
No,
goggles or
they're
something?
Their
wearing a
faces
light
light their
source,
way.
but they're not carrying
really?
like a torch or anything. Yeah.
So they're all this like
They
strange
just kinda
luminescence
glow
in their
moving down the street,
cat-
yeah.
they kind of glow. Well,
If
sure.
there are no other people around them and they are walking into the darkness, unless they dip into something,
Yeah, but-
we're gonna see them.
There's a lot of fires in the shanty town. Just like every couple of tents, there's a fire out front. So it's not. It's like it's not completely pitch
Sure,
black
like a
out here. It's
medieval nighttime scene is what I'm
it's-
picturing.
Yeah. There might be a torch. If somebody has some sort of torch holder, but
this could be a tactically dangerous move.
Yeah.
We could follow
Yeah,
them, to the rest of their ranks, and all of a sudden be vastly outnumbered. Which,
That sounds like fear.
no, let me finish. Death in service of the Emperor. There's no greater glory. I'm more worried about you.
I'll be fine. I have you 3 with me.
That is true.
So, Delta Signus, while you're doing your best to attempt to remain as quiet as possible, given you're probably the least stealthy of the group, you actually succeed and do very well. But unfortunately, while the Waterbringers don't notice you, you do attract the attention of a small group of 4 children who run up and kind of realize you're a cyborg, or at least you're covered in metal as far as they can see, and they start pulling on your robe and, hey, what are you? Who are you? And they start tapping the side of your leg to see
Do they
if it
have the
tinks
lights
and-
in their faces?
No. But if you don't somehow address them, they might blow your
Oh, I'm
covers.
gonna address them. Say, this unit is currently,
It's stealth mode.
yes. Excuse me. This unit is currently in stealth mode. Please vacate the area.
Move away.
Come play with us. Come show us what you're made of.
If you do not comply, I will be forced to make you. Please leave this area.
So are you trying to intimidate them, or are you trying to reason?
I mean, he's just saying it, so I think reason.
Reason.
So you got persuasion, or
I have no.
so you could roll your fellowship.
But then if I only have 1 die, do I just only roll my wrath?
Yes.
Does it count? Does it count as a success then? Like, can I succeed?
The others
Yeah,
do
two
see this
icons.
also,
Let's
so you
see.
guys could also take a test if you wish.
Yeah, if you don't do something soon, I'm gonna.
Oh, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say I'll roll my little wrath die.
And what are you persuading them?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm saying if you do not leave, I will make you.
So the kids are like, that is so cool. The robot talks.
Look, it's so big and scary. It's trying to scare
I
us
want
off.
to try and pay attention to see if that commotion is going to alert the people that we are tailing.
No, it's not alerting them. It hasn't alerted them yet, but you are losing distance as you're distracted by the situation.
These children are compromising our directive.
Would you like me to what? Let's see. It's Black Ops.
Right. Doesn't matter what century it
I
is,
just take
41st or
the- I just- 'cause
20th.
I've got my bolt gun like slung to the shoulder, but it's kind of down at the radio. I just kind of take the barrel and move away. Right, kind of push one of them out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make an intimidation roll.
Okay. Intimidate. Let's see. I've got 3 dice. All right.
Well, is that intimidate or is that intimidate plus
Are
fellowship?
you adding in your other stuff?
No, intimidation
Or it's
has
just-
will.
I don't have any
will,
rank, so
sorry,
it's just
yeah.
will. So I'm just rolling the 3 dice.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Actually,
Here we
2
go.
is in a, yeah.
So I've got 2 icons.
Okay, so 2 is enough to scare a small child as a space marine.
Big gun. Get away.
We're the good guys.
Cloud him over the head.
Yeah.
Whack. That's
So-
the nice thing. We're not the good guys. We're just not the bad guys.
Yeah. So the little kids freezing dead in their track whenever you turn and take note and speak. Your voice almost seems to cause them.
Like themselves.
Yeah, almost. No more jokes, but we got close to that. Almost caused them to.
Bunch of disgruntled parents coming.
Yeah,
Mob.
to make it smell even worse here. And then they all just scatter into the back alleys of the tents and the shanty buildings.
Good.
So when you turn to look back, you've seen that the water bringers have disappeared. You could probably still catch them, but you might have to hurry.
Begin hurrying.
So
Yeah.
we pick up speed.
We must find them swiftly.
Initiating jog mode.
Give up. give up maybe stealth for
Probably not stealthy now. We're
Track?
We're just chasing them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Well, I'm a
Like
scout. Let's see, can I
survival?
track? Let's see. Would it be survival?
Maybe insight? No.
Let's
Awareness.
all right, well, if you just want to chase up to the last point you saw him, you'd run athletics. You could roll
Okay.
athletics.
So I'm gonna try and chase him. All right.
And we're all
3,
running,
4,
or
5, 6,
all of us
yes.
are rolling athletics.
Well, if you all want to give chase,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna give chase.
keep up with your wrath die there.
Oh, I got a 6 on the wrath
Oh,
die.
nice.
I got a 6. So what does that mean?
So you crit.
Nice.
How many did you also?
I've got
get?
2, 3. With the wrath die, I've got 5.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Nice.
Add that to the pool.
Oh, it adds to the pool. Sweet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I only got 3.
I got 4, but I also got another issue dice.
Oh,
So maybe I should swap that
They're
guy
building
out.
up.
Oh,
Very-
guys, it's like tripping.
So, and I have none. So my question is the glory. Is there anything the glory can do to give me a success?
You can re-roll. Yeah, you can
And does it
re-roll
let me
both
reroll
of those.
all
Yeah.
anything that wasn't a success.
Yeah.
Is everyone good with me spending a glory?
Wait, isn't Wrath the one that reroll 1, 2, 3s?
There's a
Right.
little
Oh.
handout.
Do we want to spend it on this?
Yes, I apologize, but where's the
You can
handout?
use
Yeah.
one of
So
those
we'll
to
use
roll.
that.
So yeah, use your.
Well, there's
you got
at least
Okay.
one.
Cool. So everybody got at
How do
least
I get
one.
more-
You
how
got
do I
one
get
in a
more
complication.
of
Oh,
the
I forgot
personal-
about
So,
4s.
That's from
Sorry.
doing your objective,
1, 2,
or
3,
some
4.
RP situation that's
Gotcha.
above and beyond, or
Okay.
some glorious action that your character
All right.
succeeds at.
Perfect.
Okay, so I counted wrong. I forgot that 4s were successes. So I got 4.
Oh, nice.
5.
Okay.
I got 5 of the
Icons.
icons and 1 complication.
If the group doesn't seem to keep pace with me, I'm going to go ahead and outpace them
Yeah.
to get, re-sync with our people that we're tracking.
Okay, so in the lead, heading up the street, we see Octavian chasing after the last known location of the Waterbringers as they were extracted by children pulling on the robes of DS-45. So, shortly behind him, Constantina runs up the road, and along with her is Delta Signus 45. However, as they run past a particularly interesting flashing light on the side of one of the buildings, they're somewhat distracted. And
Who is?
DS-45
This unit finds
Yeah.
this an interesting invention.
somehow loses pace with Constantina a
Maybe
bit.
the robot talks in it. So what? The third person? Third person. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that was great. So, bringing up the rear is Abari. but keeping up pace with the rest of the group
Wait,
and not
not a
getting left
fearless
behind.
leader.
So, so Octavian, about the time you get to the point of the street where you last saw the water bringers, you can see kind of an alleyway between two large tents. And just so we're clear, it's not all open area with tents. There are a few buildings that were sort of sparsely spread throughout, outside of the wall of the fishing village that were cut off and abandoned. You guys have passed a few of these, mostly like shrine, once Imperial shrines, or like maybe like Ecclesiarchy watch stations, or like different kind of markets or something. But they've been abandoned, and since as the people have drawn back behind the walls, they're falling into disrepair now. So there is the occasional building surrounded by tents within the shanty town. So these guys just happen to slip behind an alleyway between a tent and one of these large buildings, and
I don't know where they're going.
yeah, no. By the time you reach the alleyway, you're able to look down and see them sort of huddled up with another person at the end of the alleyway.
Does that person look similar to them? So
No.
there's 3 of the water bringers, right?
Yeah, you could
And
see
there's
with your
the
low
fourth
light that it's a normal shanty town, average person. It's not a member of the cult. It seems like a female, but it's kind of hard to make her or him out because he's on the other side of them.
You didn't hear that.
So just so we're clear, they're like 20, 30 meters ahead, and they're seemingly harassing this person.
Oh,
As
they're
far as you
harassing?
go. Yeah,
All
they're
right.
just kind of.
I'm going to walk up.
So are you
And I
going to
will
sneak up
follow.
or audibly approach?
I feel that we nearly lost their trail following the directive of the leader. Now, I'm taking the Emperor's will upon myself and exacting my training, right? And I'm gonna walk up to them while they're having this powwow.
All right. So as you walk up, you see a woman that seems to be kind of in a pleading, position, stance, and the men are kind of yelling and seemingly giving her a hard time. You see at their feet is an empty bag with a bunch of like really frail looking shriveled up roots and like what looks to be like some form of produce that might be grown in these parts barely.
Looks like they're maybe trying to like bully her out of it or something.
Maybe well, it's on the ground, so maybe they were, they're not happy with it, maybe, but they're giving her a hard time. As you approach, you're not sneaking up. You're
I'm
just
not
walking.
sneaking. I'm just walking,
So as,
like Batman
Are we
in the
keeping
alley.
time, or are we back?
yeah, you
still?
guys are turning the corner now, so you're catching up. You and Abbasi are behind, but Constantina is turning the corner now. So as you walk up, one of them kind of notices you, but the other one keeps talking to the woman, and you can overhear him say, "You got to pay your bill. These routes are not good enough. If you expect your water deliveries to continue, you need to pay up." And the lady's just kind of pleading, "I'm giving everything I can. This is the harvest. This is what I got. And so
I walk up and say, "Consider her debt paid," as I bring my gun to bear on him.
Vision.
And if
I
I
don't
come,
pull the trigger. I just bring it up.
if I come around the corner and see him with his
yeah.
gun up,
Right.
I just basically unsheath my chain sword and there may be heretics afoot. So I just you from the end of the alley. You just hear that thing.
So
That's gotta be scary.
Yeah.
So if I've heard that, I'm gonna look at DS and go, I guess we better weapon up. And I'm gonna pull out my void saber as I'm continuing to run up. Not sure what's going on, but
yeah, so you guys are catching up. So to back up a little bit, when you began to approach, one of the cultists that wasn't speaking,
Took notice of me.
he's kind of tapping his friend that's yelling
Space
at the
Marines,
woman.
Space
and he's not paying attention. Yeah, he's just yelling. He's tapping at her, and then the barrel of your bolter comes up to the back of his head. By the time you come close, he probably realizes there's something blocking out any light coming from the street behind him.
Shadow.
And he starts to get the point, and he turns around and looks up, and you can visibly see fear in his eyes.
You see the red light from others. My targeting array or whatever.
Your Cylon. On.
Yeah, right. Something.
So he just kind of looks up at you and freezes. And well, you also said.
I said, consider her debt paid.
Yeah, and so he kind of starts to back away.
All right. So if I've got the opportunity, I'm gonna say there's been a change in plans. Ma'am, take your things and go.
Thank you, my lord. She bends over and puts all of her roots back in her bag and as fast as she can possibly move and scurries away as Constantina walks up.
And
then at that point, I basically hold the gunpoint and waiting for the rest of the group to catch up.
Okay.
They don't run. Oh, she runs past me.
Yeah.
And then, so so as she passed, I'll just, give a word of wisdom. Love thy emperor, for he is salvation of mankind.
She bows and says, "Thank you so much, my lady. I will forever remember that."
Excellent. And then, I'll just start walking up to you.
Got these guys at gunpoint. I'm waiting for the rest of the group.
Octavius, have you found heretics here?
I'm not sure.
So
But we're about to find out.
there's three guys. Two water bringers on each side, and then the one that was yelling kind of in the middle. That's just deer in the headlights. The other two, you could easily gun them all down, and if you need to, as they run away, you think. But they also think that as they sit there. Run moving.
We are all in agreement that you would kill them.
I turn around and look towards the alley, waiting for Tobias. What your character's name again? Sorry.
Abbasi.
To come up. Better plan.
So you guys are all gathered now.
That's the dichotomy
All right,
between
so
the road trip.
we came around the corner. I was somehow sorta. So his weapon is still trained on them.
Yeah.
All right, what I missed?
Yes. What have you found?
Ask your questions.
What questions?
This unit suggests information gathering on the so-called saint.
We're looking for your leader. Take us to him now.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right away.
Why did the chain gun come up? What?
I came around the corner to the alley, and Octavian's weapon was up.
Octavian, why is your weapon out?
My weapon is always out.
No, it's not. I mean,
It was out the whole time. I specifically said it was slung.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I mean to say, how come it's at the ready? What did these three do?
They were harassing a young woman.
Oh,
And
put my sword back in.
I'll look to them and say, you were harassing a child of the Emperor? For what reason?
No, you must understand. My apologies, my lady. We simply were collecting her donation in exchange for the water she previously received.
Her donation.
Is there a way for me to see whether they're lying or not?
Yeah. There is.
Because that's not really the gist that I got from them.
Insight.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Insight? Can I make?
Does he have any opticals where you can see their breathing, dilation of their
Perspiration.
I
eyes?
got a built-in polygraph.
Increase the heart
It's a
rate.
little tachycardic.
Please attach this to your finger.
Well, I got a 6 on the die, on
Nice.
the
So you got-
chaos die or whatever you call it. So I get another one of these.
No. Well. That is on the round die. Yeah, you do. So.
Nice. So we get a 4th one of these.
Right.
So I
And you got
have
three.
Three.
Yeah. Cool. So.
Is he tap dancing or is he being honest?
He's definitely leaving something out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where I had the gun trained on one of them, I pull the trigger. Boof.
Nice.
And I'm gonna look at the other one and go, try again.
All right. Cool. So let's do a short range shot.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see what happens to this poor guy.
All right. So you'll have to guide me
This is how
through
it
this.
goes. Right.
Okay.
So you're going to gather your dice pool for the current weapon.
Okay, which is okay. We got my bolt gun, right? So dice pool is 8. So okay, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus this chaos die or whatever you call it.
In this case,
Wrath dice, sorry.
you're also in short range.
Okay.
So you're gonna add 2.
I'm at 2 and more. Okay. Cool.
Okay. All right. So you're rolling against this guy's defense of 2.
And there's no stat bonus or anything else.
I got a 6 on the die there. Get another one of those.
So yeah, that's
So I have
critical
2,
hit.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my god. Okay.
This little guy.
So what you then do is you take your number of net hits, and you decide if you want to shift any to damage, or if you want to.
I want to do the maximum damage possible.
So you need 2 hits for this guy.
All right, so 2 hits. So there's 2, and so I can shift it up
So
4.
you can shift any other 6s. You have to have a 6.
Okay, so I'm going to shift my. I'm going to
1 damage. Okay.
I can shift it. So the standard damage of my bolt gun is 10, so it's going to be 11.
So it's 10 plus the ED column, and the ED on the
Oh,
weapon,
which is 2
it
extra.
stands for extra dice. So you
Alright.
do a static amount plus however many icons you roll on an extra dice.
Oh, nice.
So you're going to
So-
roll 2 additional dice.
2 additional dice. Does one of them need to be one of these?
No.
Okay.
Whenever you roll, you get a bonus die from the shift.
Okay.
So you're rolling 10 plus 3, and that's how you express damage is.
Oh, I roll. Oh, this is how many dice I roll. 10 plus 3?
No. You get 10 damage.
Plus 3 dice.
3 dice worth of icons.
All right. Well, I didn't do any extra damage.
Okay.
So, but I did 10 damage.
So that's subtracted from this guy's resilience, and that determines how many wounds he receives. So in this case, he has 4 resilience, and so he receives 6 wounds. So
Okay.
additionally, since you got the 6 on the wrath die, you inflicted a critical hit. So normally you would roll it, but in the case of it being that you were already trained on his head, it's safe to say the critical hit result will be a headshot.
Oof. So I was kind of hoping.
Yeah, uses the bolter shell to essentially shatter skull and bone and leaves very little of, the upper torso remaining.
And I look at the other one and I say, try again.
There's like another little whirring sound coming from Delta Signus 4-5, and he says, "This unit humbly requests that you not aim for the head next time. I would really love to see how the LEDs work."
Oh.
Yeah, he's basically 2/3.
Can you not damage the specimen? All right.
Well, if you remember, we did discuss that on our way in. But yes, there was the expectation of the autopsy.
There's 2 more.
Yeah.
And how are the 2 reacting to us so coldly talking?
So when this happens, both of them's legs just kind of give out completely beneath them, and they just collapse on the floor and just kind of back up in a panic mode before trying and failing to rise up. But you can see they know obviously that they don't really they obviously can't get away.
So I'll step
cannot run your
forward.
gun,
So a
but-
question was asked of you, and as you can see, we're in no mood to get an
Like, these
incorrect
guys are
answer.
serious.
And please stand in front of your bidders.
Yes, my lord. Kind of slowly stands. You can see his legs wobbling.
And I'll give him the time to stand up.
I completed my objective, by the way.
Nice.
That was
Kill somebody?
Someone?
Or
Oh,
blow
no, I
someone's
didn't. No,
head
I didn't.
off?
Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
Not yet.
That would be a ridiculous objective for the Space Marine. Blow somebody's head off.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That wasn't.
First poor schmuck to come across
No.
her path.
Bam! All right, I got that. Let's keep going.
Let me have some rest.
Space Marine walks into a bar.
So after a while of him gathering the will to utter words, he eventually says, "Preacher Swanee, it's all him. We just do what he says. I mean, he's the one calling the shots for the cult, for the Waterbringers. We just follow command. That's it."
Very good. Preacher Swanee is not, I believe, the saint.
No, yeah, Saint Martica is the name of the saint.
So, 2 questions then. 2 more questions we'll add to the pile. 1, can you take us to Saint Martica?
Well, we can gladly take you to our shrine, but we don't control when the saint sees visitors.
As you wouldn't, being a saint.
We can take you to Preacher Swanee.
Yep, we would like to do that next. Please,
Excellent.
lead on.
We'll go right now if that's what you wish.
One moment. What would have happened if that woman did not offer a donation as you claimed? Would you have withheld water from her?
That we don't hurt people. We bring the water. That's what we do for the people of the Shantytown. We're nothing like the deluge.
And you bring this water in a back end of an alley where you crowd around a woman.
Well, she already received her share of water, and she just didn't bring her donation at the time. And some of these donations are not optional, and so we were here to collect that. That's all.
So a donation is not optional. That seems to be a contradiction.
It stops being a donation, by my understanding.
This unit requests to avoid the head, please.
No, we're not doing that. They have already stated
Why you looking
that
at
their
me?
leader is the preacher, Swanee.
Swanee.
So we will be discussing donations and how they are implemented with Preacher Swanee.
Abbasi, there's something that the Emperor has us enforce. The heretic and the blasphemer can offer no excuse for their crimes. Those who are pardoned, merely live to fester and shroud humanity from the light of the Emperor, with the darkness of their souls.
Purge the unclean.
And I do believe these two, unfortunately, fall under the unclean. And then I'll just slash one of them.
Their eyes just go
Yeah.
huge, just become big.
How do you pick?
It would not be wise to hesitate to bring us to Swan.
And do you, for some reason, think you're done with your objective too?
Well, technically it might be.
Slay
But yeah,
it.
so I'm going to slay one of them.
Okay, so
This
roll
is just
your
getting bad.
your pool for your chainsword. is-
Only one
Don't-
scout is needed.
Yeah, don't be a heretic. It's easy. Okay, so since this is my weapon skill, that's going to be 7.
Don't be a heretic.
You can
We'll
also
eat
you can
cookies
also
in South
take
Central.
an extra wrath.
It's a tough argument, you know, when you're.
Yes.
You know, obviously they were up to no good, you know. I love it that the Siths like, you know, like taking this stance.
Yeah, you
It's
should
great.
have 3 as far as I know, but
No, I used. Okay. Sorry, I used one of them earlier, so I
Right,
have 2.
okay.
Okay, perfect. And then so.
Chainsword's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love the idea of it. Is that a 6? That's a 6.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. Okay, so.
Which
Ooh, I
is
got a
your-
6 on my good die. So I'll take.
Nice, you're maxed out.
Give them a.
So
and-
let's
start using them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
make
got
them-
6. That's awesome.
Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah, with the 6 here, and
Right,
then
so you needed 2.
yeah.
So
Awesome.
Okay, and my damage is 10 plus 4.
Plus 1 point because you're going to upgrade the 6.
Yeah. So,
well, you can do that multiple times. You can shift all the remaining 6s that you
Oh,
have.
does he have more than
Oh.
one?
Yes, 2,
Wow.
I think.
Wow.
So,
so,
3.
so remind me what the shifting does.
so you can shift basically your net hits.
Uh-huh.
Can turn into damage, or
Oh.
you can turn 1 into glory per roll.
Oh,
so
okay.
actually, I'm not sure you can do both.
1
but-
is glory.
yeah.
So you can make a glory, but make
We're-
another
we're
glory.
all-
But if you're full, that's unneeded.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you want to
we're-
shift both.
That's
into
what got
damage.
us to the
yeah.
full.
yeah, so I'm just gonna
Well,
shift them to
what
damage.
got him to the full was rolling the 6 on the wrath die. So that's a
okay.
separate thing than shifting net hits into wrath.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just
So-
shift them all into damage.
So you'll
then.
roll,
Nice.
you'll roll 6 and add that to 10.
Man, if there's someone around
So you're
with an
shifting them
iPhone,
to
we're screwed.
dice.
Right.
Ah, okay, cool.
So you're going to be rolling 6 dice,
That-
not
One.
5.
Yeah, actually,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
let's confirm. You might be shifting them to
Okay,
damage.
so
let's
1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 14 points of damage.
Wow.
Against his 4, if I remember.
Yeah, so 10 was enough to kill the other one. So the resilience was 4. So you do
Kind of looking down your barrel
14.
going,
So you do 10, and so when you do over double their total damage, it creates a state called annihilation. And it's basically means like,
blood mist.
there's nothing. Yeah, there's pretty much
Insta-kill.
nothing left. So you just rip through, but along the way through, the teeth of your chainsword just send chunks and bits of flesh every which direction.
Are we watching DS45 with their hands? Its hands grabbing, trying to grab little bits like,
Is there
I can't use
any-
any of this.
That I can pick up?
No.
So I will stop. Look after decimating that one. I will just wipe the blood from my face, splash it on the ground, and I'll look to the other one and say,
Sister,
So,
may I step in? We need at least one to bring us to the preacher in the start of this.
He's gonna make a resolve roll.
He may faint.
Grabs himself.
He stays up, but he wobbles.
I will say, this one may live for now to lead us. But remember, one man can start a landslide with the casting of a single pebble. So
Okay, did you hear that? No throwing rocks, dude.
This unit requests now that I might smite the third so that the head can remain intact.
Not yet.
I suggest as you lead us,
Come here.
make-
I'm
Yeah.
giving him the signal to come here. Over by me.
He's
I-
basically in shock.
I'll
so
turn
he
off
just,
my chainsaw, and I'm gonna say, I suggest
It's all drip, drip.
as you lead us to your leader that you make peace with the Emperor.
It's all jammed with brain matter, bone.
he's just like pouring with sweat. He's just,
This unit demands the right to investigate.
I'll say, this one's head will be yours.
Oh God, you just say that.
There you go.
He's a heretic.
This pleases the unit.
Made the robot happy. Squeezes the unit.
The robot will remember this.
I'm just checking on this shift to see if it's a static damage you're shifting or a.
I think we've adequately established this intimidation factor here.
I think this guy's gonna do whatever we need at this point.
Hesitation would be unwise.
Oh, my first chainsword use. I love it.
Very nice.
That
You
thing
get used to
sounds
it.
gnarly.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen a picture of one? Okay, let me
Oh,
show you.
it's
I'm gonna
it's gnarly. Oh
pull up
yeah.
for one of you.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, no, these things are insane.
Chainsword's great because I mean they're used for like basically like assaulting vehicles and cutting through them as well.
Yeah.
I also realized I don't like sharing dice with Pedro because he does not put them in
Yes.
neat lines
Okay.
like I do.
They are dice.
He
Okay.
makes a big old smooshy mess. This is a sincere issue.
This is an issue. Yeah, look. So, I'm sorry you folks can't see, but it looks like a big giant hunk of metal with huge blades that...
Wow.
Big old
Only-
teeth around the outside.
Yeah.
Go
only
Google
somebody-
chain sword.
Yeah, only somebody who's 9 feet tall could, or a dope
It's
sister
basically like a big chainsaw. And just
Yeah. No, this thing is...
But
This
it's
thing
shaped
is
like a
insane.
sword, so it has like
Yeah.
a hilt.
Yeah.
So when you
Hella
hit, you
cool.
turn on the blades and it just cuts through whatever it hits.
That's cool.
Yeah, when you assault like vehicles with a chainsword, it just peels them. It's like a can opener. Just rip. Yeah.
Can't open this man.
So-
Man open
Yeah,
this.
does he lead
Let's
us where we have to go?
follow.
So yeah, he's he basically is in shock. His entire face that's not glyphed is stark white, and he's sweating bricks, and his eyes are just like bright and wide and almost hollow. But he's just just kind of walking forward like he's on his last walk in death row.
Because he is.
He is.
He's been told so.
So yeah, so he's bringing you up some streets, through some different side paths, around a corner to a pretty large abandoned Imperial Shrine. It's basically like you would picture, sort of like a basic Imperial Gothic architectural building, but it's in massive disrepair. Most of the stonework is fallen. There's like marble stairs at the entrance, but it's cracked and broken open and covered in layers of dust and grime, and otherwise pretty dilapidated. So you can see as you're walking up to approach this shrine, various other similarly attired members of the cult kind of coming in and congregating around the entrance. And when this one shows up with the four of you in tow, everybody seems to kind of stop what they're doing and watch you guys approach.
This structure is in a disgusting state of repair.
This is not as the Emperor should be.
We're looking for Preacher Swanee.
So everybody's just kind
Hurry, Jesus!
So everybody's sort of standing on the outside, standing on the stairways. They're just kind of shocked to see,
Got
the
fresh
sight that they're
blood,
seeing.
grit all over us. And there's only
Actually,
one.
the other guy is covered in
Yeah,
it.
bro, it is.
He's red now. He looks like a deluge member now. So when you mention Preacher Swanee, one of them scurries inside.
I say we follow him.
Excellent. I think that would be good.
I say you go around back so he doesn't sneak out.
I don't say anything. I start moving towards the back.
Go, go.
Yep.
And then, okay, so I'll look at the other guy and I'll say, or the guy who led us, and I'll say, "It is time. Go ahead and kneel." As I pull out my bolter.
He turns around. He's very, very hesitant, and he looks up like, sort
I'll
of
say-
like making sure you're actually serious and sure.
I'll say, "No, kneel."
So he slowly kneels,
It will be
very
fine.
slowly, and his knees kind of knock together.
Yeah, and I'll
along.
say, "Death in the service to the Emperor is its own reward."
Hey, are you guys coming in?
I need a moment.
I'll add
Life in failure to him is its own condemnation. You have led us where we needed to go, so hopefully the Emperor will judge you as such. And I just wham, just right in the head. I mean,
In front of
it's-
everybody.
Well,
And the head was
not the head,
unit
not the head.
family request.
I forgot. I was thinking.
This unit demands a compact. This unit demands a compact now.
Oh, that's great.
Forgot about that part.
Shake, sister. Agree that the next head is mine.
I am truly sorry. Yes. I'll
Strike the compact.
My bad.
Yes, the next head shall be yours.
The rest of them do it. These guys are fucking nuts.
Now we gotta make sure that every head somehow gets
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was great.
So,
So,
and then I'll just look around to the crowd and say,
yeah, no.
Volunteers?
Yeah, it's safe to say that a shot or the next would do the job in this situation with him at a vulnerable position. So
This unit will
we'll assume that
follow
was successful.
the Marine.
To the whole crowd.
Oh, so you run into the back? Okay.
So
The absence of faith is the mark of the weak. And then I'll put away my bolter.
Agreed.
Are any of the guys on the stairs staying on the stairs?
No. One ran inside, and especially once this happens,
We're
anybody
scattering
outside
bullets.
will scatter. Yeah.
And
So-
did I happen to catch as we were coming up? Are they all wearing the face tattoos?
yeah.
The,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're in the doorway.
Skin plants.
Yeah, you're sort of in the hearth of the shrine, which is like the entranceway that has some candles. It has some stained glass windows along the sides.
It
But-
has
and
good
then it has-
candles.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'm thinking replacements for my ship.
Oh.
Has good candles.
Yeah, you have a good supply for your ship, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stealing from a shrine.
I wouldn't.
Well,
know
this
if I
is a
would.
heretic shrine, and I've already been told
We don't
by
know.
all of you guys
No, we
that.
don't
We
know
don't
yet.
know.
Those guys were heretics. The rest of them might
This is
not
an
be.
Imperial Shrine.
We got it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta work the process.
Now they've holed up here. They're squatting.
So you can see through the archway ahead of you. It's basically what you would picture as like a cathedral. There's some benches where people would sit, and there's some stained glass windows alongside. You see statues of various saints and heroes lined
Would
up
I
in
know
between
them,
each
or
window.
should I be asking the sister? Who's that?
Yeah, they would
that-
recognize
All right.
the
so
ones
I would not
relevant to
necessarily.
their factions. But
so
yeah,
I'm going to
you
ask
may
as we're
not.
going in. So, sister, who is this one here?
Oh, that is Saint.
So
The
yeah,
most holy of system.
right. So you would see the
Cain, leader
statues.
of the White
and
Stars.
You would recognize them certainly, and you would recognize some Space Marine statues that are.
Well,
in there.
he wouldn't. He's around back.
Yeah, I'm right.
Right, when you enter. Okay. Right.
Space Marine painted on the back door.
So nothing.
This must be it.
So did you go around back? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
missed
went
that.
around.
Okay.
When he said go around back, I
Y'all
just turned
three
and went.
in, and okay.
No.
No.
DS45, as soon as it was done, ran around to follow,
Yeah.
catch up.
So
with
we're
the
both.
state.
Oh, okay. So
flanked.
y'all
Us
split up.
two are
There's two of
going.
us
I
going
missed
in
that.
front.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, you would recognize any of the sister statues. So, ironically, beneath these statues, you see these giant empty barrels. Just like 3 empty barrels beneath each statue. There's a couple of cult members sitting amongst the benches inside the shrine, but there's no one up front, at the pew. So
And do I see the one that went running inside?
So you don't see him right away, but after you kind of take in the sights of the shrine, you see him come from up front, from outside of or behind a door, and there's another cultist with him. He's dressed a little more regal, but not much. Not more regal, but more ornamentally, but not much. Maybe
So-
has a sash or something over his
is
normal
the
robes.
shrine a covered shrine?
Yes.
So I would potentially have an
Yeah,
echo.
it's like a church.
So in my
Picture like a
largest
Gothic
booming
church.
voice, I'm going to say, "We demand to speak with Preacher Swanee."
So the man that has the green sash over his blue robe says, "My lord, I beg your forgiveness, but that's not possible right now. He is out running an errand."
We will wait.
He says, "Is there any questions I could answer of yours in the meantime?"
Sister,
Oh, I apologize, but please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tybalt. I'm a simple servant of the great Saint Martica.
Yes, Tybalt, why is this shrine to our holy emperor in such disrepair?
Well, my lady, we do the best we can to keep it in good shape, but our supplies are rather limited, and ever since the adepts of the Ecclesiarchy retreated behind the walls of the fishing village, we haven't received much in the way of additional supplies or help.
And I'm gonna essentially be walking kind of around, looking at the statues, just, like swiping a finger, looking at the grime, and I'll say, and what of these barrels? What are they used for?
Oh, well, that's an excellent question, my lady. I would love to show you. In fact, Saint Martica is scheduled to make a midnight sermon tonight. You can witness it with your own eyes.
I would very much like to see the preaching.
So that's, probably a couple hours. So
We're all sitting in the crowd with our arm
Oh,
around.
yeah, as
Inconspicuous.
and
Now-
Preacher Swanee will return when?
well, I would assume before the sermon. It isn't like him to miss a sermon, but if I could speak in confidence, perhaps you could join me in the back.
I believe that can be done.
Forgive me, but please follow me.
Okay, so as we're walking back, one of the things I want to do is look back and scan the crowds. We had a number of the I'm going to use the word cult, the cult of the Waterbringers within the shrine environs.
Witness the execution out front.
What do they do?
The ones I'm sorry.
Inside. You said there were a number inside.
Yeah, the ones that didn't, directly see the execution outside, they probably just kind of stayed huddled inside and just, either prayed or chanted.
What are they doing as we're walking back?
They're not going. They're waiting inside.
All right.
Did we hear the gunshot as we are going around back?
I was there for it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that we did.
Yeah.
You heard it, and then DS-45 comes up right behind you.
I'm not alarmed because I know the sound.
Right. The ones outside are kind of worried, and so they kind of scattered. But the ones inside, as far as you can see, seem to just be like patiently waiting for the ritual or the sermon later.
So on the way in, I'm going to lean into the sister as he's leading us. This is Tybalt, the servant of St. Martica.
Right.
So, sister, if St. Martica is found to be a true saint, her followers would then be followers of the Emperor, which means that they would not be heretics. How do we decide which need to pay penance and which do not?
Well,
Obviously, the three that were involved in the situation would have to pay as they did. But of these remaining ones...
Well, that will be up to Octavian and I to set them to judgment.
The second question I have is, since the two of you acted so rashly with the three, we don't have anyone to bring sentence against or to speak against Preacher Swanee.
Rashly? We did not act rashly. There is no rash judgment for a heretic.
But without somebody to accuse Preacher Swanee, how do you pass judgment at that?
We need nobody but myself and Octavian to pass judgment.
If the preacher is the preacher for a true saint, if St. Martica is found to be a true saint, we have no one to accuse the preacher of the circumstances we came upon, the woman being attacked.
Then we, using our word, shall judge him
Yeah.
accordingly.
So your authority is the law. Like, nobody would question you on an authority. Like, you wouldn't have to have a witness or anything. Like, you just say, we saw it, they saw it.
Like,
saw
we
it.
don't
It's-
need permission.
Yeah.
We are.
What are you talking about? It's a trial.
We're the emperor's feet on the street.
Now,
yeah.
maybe you're not, you're used to more persuading people, but they're used
Exactly.
to
I'm looking at you with just a
authority.
confused look, like what? It's us.
You probably understand that, like, if there's, for some reason, if I hesitate, then the emperor deemed it so that they were just. If not, then it was as it should be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're that like, okay.
If I am somehow correct, the emperor will stop me. Incorrect. I think it's incorrect.
Better be some sweet Mark Twain shit, because it's definitely being inscribed on your tombstone.
All right, so we follow him into the back.
So he leads you into the back, past through the door and down a hallway. You have to kind of stoop to get through, but it eventually opens up into sort of a small office behind the backdrop.
We're kicking the back door in.
How about them? What are the two in the back?
Oh yeah, I keep saying you're not inside.
But we're not here, yeah.
So
Two of
you've
us.
come around the backside.
Okay.
Yeah. So you actually arrived probably earlier on while they were still waiting on the guy. I apologize.
Okay.
So upon coming to the back of the shrine, you would see there's certainly a back door, and it has a few cultists surrounding it, but you don't see anyone like running away or guarding or blocking anything. But
I'm going to walk up to the door like I own the place, and I'm going to try and open the door.
it opens.
And they don't like trying to away, like, hey, what are you doing?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, they just kind of back away. And
I just
they
like look at them, open the door and walk in.
So when you enter, you see sort of the back. It's like a hallway of many doors, and towards the front, you imagine at the end of the hallway is probably the backdrop of the front part of the cathedral. Even though you didn't really see the inside, but about the size of the stained glass windows
Okay, all right.
running down the length that you pass by.
Are the doors closed?
Yeah. And again, it's all in really bad repair. Some of the doors are like kind of
How
slanted
many
off the
doors?
hinges.
Like more than 20?
No, like 4 on each side. Maybe.
Would this unit queries, would it be worth it to look in these rooms as we move through?
Sure.
kicking open the door.
As she kicks open the door, I'm going to look back out at the two that were outside. I'm like, you two, come with me.
Yes, my lord. Certainly.
I said, this place is in an unacceptable state of disarray. Start cleaning.
Certainly. Our apologies.
Start with the wood
Start
chips.
looking around for brooms or something to function as a
If
broom.
you don't have rags, use your clothes.
Yeah.
You have no
There's no greater duty than that in the service of the Emperor.
If you have no clothes, use your hair.
Right, yes. Start cleaning now. Yeah.
So, as you guys are standing in this hallway, you see off in the distance 3 people walk past. 2 of them you recognize as Abbasi and Constantina.
I'll continue to kick in the doors.
Bam, bam.
And
One
then,
cultist.
All right.
yeah,
So
anything.
you can see, like, yeah, they're in the front end of the back portion of the shrine, and you guys are sort of so. As you're walking, you see Tybalt kind of look and see, like, oh, there's more of them, and he kind of just notices you guys back there, but doesn't seem to try to stop you from exploring anything.
Okay, all right. I'll just kind of keep an eye out on the back. You know, she kind of as the DS-45 kicks indoors, and I want to make sure that these two continue to start cleaning as needed to my to a standard that I deem acceptable.
The Emperor standard.
Yeah.
So the first doors you kick in, it's not much more than like basic storage and supplies. You know, the stuff closest to the back door is obviously not very well, really valuable. You know, so
I tell DS-45 they may be unlocked.
yeah.
Too late.
Bam! Breaking all the doors.
No, I would try the doorknob before I started
Yeah.
kicking shit in.
I said, look at these guys. You're gonna fix that after she's done.
So one doorknob you try is heavily bolted. So you kick that door straight in. It comes off its
that
hinges
shit
without
in.
much of a roll because it's basically a wood door, and you have a cybernetic leg.
Yeah, real good feet.
Yeah. And so
Got
inside
best
this
feet.
room, you see a couple of barrels of, a couple of large barrels with water.
Oh, is there a
Looks very-
desalination device? No, just water.
Just a couple barrels, couple boxes of, maybe like some water flasks, like a couple of crates with some water flasks in them, and
Box of
just
water.
three large barrels of water.
Okay, yeah. I mean, unless there's something like an evil cultist killing a baby, I'd probably just move through 'em.
Cool. Okay, so meanwhile up front,
Oh, found one. Here you go.
Your face is mine.
Baby
Yeah.
killing room's the one on the left.
Yeah.
Tybalt leads Constantina and Abbasi into a private office and closes the door behind them.
Now, did you guys see us down the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you on your way, I didn't know that's where they were at the time when
No
you first
problem.
entered. But on your way to this office, you see these guys. Realize they're kind of canvassing. You guys got the building on lockdown pretty much. So
Cool.
Yeah, I just
I
nodded
feel like
Octavian.
they've got this.
yeah. So the 3 of you go into this office, close the door behind you, and the first thing Tybalt says is he looks at the 2 of you and appears to be very relieved, or he says, "If I may speak freely."
You may.
Says there is a group in town that's been causing some real problems for us. They're known as the Deluge, and they've caused problems for our cult as well as the people of this shantytown. I fear to report to you, my lord and my lady, that is where I believe Preacher Swanee to be. You see, recently the attacks of the Deluge on our cult members sort of started to subside, and I think he may be working with them or somehow paying them off.
So I'm going to ask you what I believe is a simple question. I expect a simple answer. We came across a group of people identifying themselves as water bringers, and they were asking for donations, but it seemed more in the form of tribute. It seemed more in the form of expectation, which a donation is not.
So when you mention that, you see kind of a pained look cross his face. He says, yes, there are. We're receiving reports of some of our congregation abusing the donation system. But I assure you, St. Martica only offers water to any who ask. And
So
we accept
freely.
Exactly. We only accept donations if they are willfully offered.
So you would suggest then that anybody who is asking a specific tribute as opposed to a offer of donation is working outside the preacher and St. Martica's desires?
That's really hard to say, as I don't have proof, and I hate to implicate Preacher Swanee without certainty.
Then we will be asking Preacher Swanee that, and be assured that the heretics have been dealt with that were demanding tribute.
Thank you, my lady. Your work is very much appreciated.
Yes. Praise the Emperor. Now, can you lead us or give us direction to where these deluge reside?
I would be happy to. They are holed up in a nearby, former, now rundown Ecclesiarchy watch station.
And
Basically the equivalent of a rundown police station.
And I'll think for a second and say, from what I can tell, I do not sense any heretical nature in you. I will trust for now that you are...
Do you want to roll?
Oh, yeah, that's right, I can. Yeah, let me
you
go...
can and get a better, more certain
is
idea.
that,
It's insight, I think.
Insight? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, I don't really have a good insight, but let's see.
Can I
Yeah.
read him as well?
Absolutely.
Oh my god! Okay,
You guys are you're
I guess
abusing the
I
dice here.
Okay, so I got on my 2 dice. I got 2 sixes.
So you got
so that's
4. Yeah, you got 4 and you crit it.
Yeah, so
So you can say with absolute certainty to you that this guy means what he says.
Okay.
That he's not among those that are shaking people down. That he really does only accept donations.
and as long as you stay on the good path, then, well, we will do our best to bring the Emperor's light here once more. Now, these deluge, do you have any knowledge of heretical dealings other than attacks upon the Emperor's believers?
Well, there's rumors that certain people that cross them disappear entirely. I don't know where they go or what they would be doing with them, but it is widely known that people give them all the space they need because no one wants to be the next to disappear.
When did they show up upon your environs? I'm not certain if you would guess when they landed on Enoch itself.
Yeah, they've been an influential gang in this part of town for quite some time. I would say that only in the last 6 months or so have they become extremely aggressive, and only in the last 2 weeks has that aggression subsided.
In the last 2 weeks, they have become less aggressive.
Right. Which is why I suspect Preacher Swanee has had some dealings with them.
It seems if the aggressions were reducing, Preacher Swanee would be doing good work. And this is contrary to what we believe.
Funding of heretics is not inherently good work, so we will decide whether that is his intention.
Brother Tybalt, in the time that you've seen these deluge, you said they've been here for a while. Have they always been so fit? Or is that new?
No, that is a rather recent development that they've begun to be able to so easily overpower our congregation.
How new? 6 months?
About, yes, I would say.
This could be the work of chaos upon this place.
That's your purview. I don't know that.
I'm just saying that out loud then. And I'll look at it.
We'll both look at Tybalt.
Yeah. Says, I would hope I would hope that the ruinous powers do not lay their eyes upon our small city, but I know it is absolutely possible, and I would hope that you would be able to uproot it if it exists.
If chaos has laid its ugly face here, yes, it will be gone.
So he seems very grateful and kind of deeply bows his head.
How big are the barrels?
know,
Let me ask a different question. Can I pick up a barrel?
Empty one? Absolutely, but
No.
but the ones you're looking at are all empty.
Oh, they
The
are
ones you
empty.
passed
Okay,
were all
then-
empty.
no, then-
She found 3 full barrels in the back.
She found them. I apologize. I thought they were in here with me.
Right.
Are they like 25-gallon barrels or something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's a lot,
Traditional.
yeah.
What's the cubic volume of the barrels?
How much does a cubic foot of water weigh?
I don't actually know.
To Google.
33.3 pounds.
There you go. So 33, yeah, so that's a lot.
Okay, I don't
I
know.
totally was
No.
believing you. Yeah, it
I was
sounded,
Give me a
being
sec.
facetious.
you did the quick calculation.
Covering for DS45.
That type of information is far too irrelevant to take room up in my data banks.
Let's see.
A cubic foot of water weighs 62.4 pounds.
I was close.
Roughly 30 kilograms.
One for 1 cubic foot.
Yep.
But you could probably carry a full barrel for no.
He could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my character could.
Well, yeah.
No way.
Two.
I don't think so.
Two of them.
25
like
gallons?
this.
That's a lot of water.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
if you
how
think
many
about
pounds
what
do
a
we determine?
5-gallon jug of water weighs, it's pretty
62
heavy.
something.
So, like,
Yeah.
And that's going to be
1,200
an awkward
pounds?
way to,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I don't know. Can you lift those
sloshing
100
around.
pounds? That's a lot of poundage.
Yeah. Can you lift a ton?
Well, back to the heretics.
Back to our not murder.
So it did kind of work out that, the 3 that were slain had it coming.
Yeah,
See, the Emperor works in
The
mysterious ways.
divine will
Right.
of the Emperor
Yeah,
guided
really.
us.
It supports the theory of the Emperor will guide my hand. I mean, I don't need
Yeah.
to, rationalize whether I'm making the right decision or not. I'm the hand. I'm the hand of the Emperor. I mean, and it's through me that he acts.
Is Abbasi doubting the Emperor?
He's kind of like, that's your department. I don't know.
All right.
Cool.
I'm
so-
sure the rogue traders know that anytime there are, any of the chapter personnel around, that the casualties are typically high.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the amount and depth of conversation typically wanes in the shadow of the bullets.
Yeah, he knows that, like, if you kill
was so
someone, then
poetic.
that person is guilty.
Wait.
So just kind of throwing
Shadows
it all
of the
back into our
bullets.
discussion, these are probably 55-gallon barrels. That would
Okay.
be my guess. Standard sized barrel. So it's approximately 460 pounds.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Man, yeah. How many cultists does it take to lift 460 pounds?
Let's find out for the Emperor.
In a barrel,
Lift
that's
one
kinda-
of
Called
those.
a dreadnought.
Yeah,
You pick that up, move it over there.
The question is, can the Space Marine lift it?
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. I've got a strength of
We can
4,
try.
which is pretty strong, but I don't think I can lift that much.
Are you taking a water barrel with you?
If anything, I mean, if I felt like you guys were misappropriating, I'd be
Yeah.
like, cool, this water just became
I'm
public
requisitioning
domain.
this water.
I'm going to set it out on the street corner.
That
and
was,
everybody
that was
have
my
at it.
actually
Yeah.
that was
Oh.
my thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, imagine they probably have some form of dolly or some form of, transportation method where they can get the barrels up onto these.
Yeah, we don't know. Really, what they have is they have a
Pallet
cycle
jack.
that's just
Yeah.
Yodaing them out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Do the barrels have lids? Do they just roll them?
They do have lids. Yeah, they do have lids, but these are unlidded. But their lids are
Relevancy?
nearby.
Why are we wondering how they move the
Because
barrels?
they wanted to redistribute the water to the people in a Robin Hood
the
way.
3 barrels.
Yeah, we were talking about how, how easy it would be for us to move
the
them.
two of us, sister and I, don't even know about it.
Yeah.
So
You found them. I didn't find them. You found them. I'm in the hallway.
everyone doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
We need not move the barrels. We can just bring people to the barrels.
You might also find, if you find any artifacts laying around, we're probably best not to leave them in the hands of these potential heretics.
Do I find any artifacts?
No, but you do see a makeshift armory where they have been sort of turning scraps
Little
into
fish hooks.
blades. Yeah, but nothing relic worthy.
All right. Well, while we're in this room, and I'm looking at all the different weapons, the pitiful organic squelching of this city disgusts this unit. I long for the siren song of engines and the steam of battle from my forged planet. I feel this unit is frankly disgusted with the smells, sights, and construction of this land.
I'm listening to that. You're in the other room, like, just kind of saying that out loud.
It's got the litany, or it's got the litany going.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So
And that was my objective.
nice.
To bitch about this planet.
Claim your wrath point.
Very cool.
Wrath, please.
Cool.
Oh, while we're on it,
me that rock.
yeah, I have my wrath
Yeah.
point for
Yes.
mine.
If you
Yeah,
prefer.
mine
You want to
is
slow
to
the narrative pace.
yes,
at the time,
recant a holy litany applicable to the current situation.
Perfect.
Very
Instead of
nice.
few. Awesome.
So, as this is going on, the front group is being led out of the office and back around. So you're able to kind of get their attention if you want to say, "Hey, we got a lead," or
Hey.
vice versa.
Over here.
Over here.
Well, honestly, as we're going out, I would say we should check with Octavian and Delta Signus.
I agree.
And so then we'll just
We'll head
turn
down.
right and go down the hall.
Oh, there you are.
Brother Tybalt, we will attend you soon.
Can be tended to.
Yeah, I mean he can kind of give you rough directions, or he can lead you straight there. But he would rather give you directions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sufficient.
Yeah,
He is
he's-
innocent at this time. I don't think we should bring him with us.
Yes. If you can give
Okay.
us directions, that will be sufficient for
Certainly,
now.
my lady. Please take note. He gives you directions sufficient to find.
I'm down the hallway, putting my finger up. Just a minute, guys.
So do you guys give us the update on who potentially the Swanee is?
We,
Like
yeah,
he's kind of working
if
for
we
the
get
other
down there,
team?
we will.
Okay. All right.
It seems that there may be heretics within this order. This, at least for now, seems to not be overrun with chaos.
Right. If this order is not heretical in and of itself, there is a heresy within. There is a faction within that is not following, and the deluge looks to be a heretical faction itself.
And we can take joy, Octavian, that we stamped out 3 heretics at least. A good start, if you ask me.
Not bad for a first meal.
All right, and then we have the directions to the hideout of the deluge. It seems that the preacher here may be funding them in a way to stop attacks upon the water bringers.
I look at the 2 that are cleaning. If this place isn't clean when I come back, I'm gonna find you. And I turn like go away. I'm like, yeah. I'm really offended at the state of the place.
They seem to be doing a decent beginning job. Octavian, do you think you might want to put the entire rest of the community to work on it?
I think that's a great idea.
There are more upstairs.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, that's something Tybalt could probably.
We haven't met Tybalt yet.
Oh yeah,
He scurried off, right? Or is he there with him?
When y'all gathered together, he gave you all the directions, and then went back to work on other occult business.
I suggest you
Lighting candles.
I suggest you put your people to work on getting this place in better shape. For proper representation of the Emperor.
I promise you, it will be in better shape by the time you return.
And we'll walk out.
That's right.
Go dunk my head in the gold.
Good job, guys. Rooting out heretics.
So you walk out the front.
Yeah.
Front.
I mean,
Step over the heretic on the way.
yeah.
Are there any more of them sitting on the steps at all?
No, yeah, the front's empty, being that there's a dead body there now.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't.
I pick up his body and like throw it away from
Yeah,
the stairs.
yeah.
He's disgracing the
One
front.
yeah,
They'll take care of him before you come back. But.
Yeah, actually, I'll just shout out. Who wishes to remove this heretic's corpse for the Emperor? Just to the crowds of people. Anybody around?
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
You know what? I want to
do a leadership role.
If the chainsaw powers up.
Leadership is perfectly fine for me. I forgot I had that one.
Bunch of hands go up.
Yes, ma'am. Let me move that corpse.
Oh, hey, I critted.
You guys
Bunch of hands go up.
yeah.
supposed to crit 1 in 6 rolls, but you've crit the last 3 rolls in a row.
Well, I'm doing the opposite. I'm getting a complication.
Yep, you're keeping us even.
I'll use one of these guys to reroll the lower ones. Okay, cool. So that's 2. So 4.
4. Okay, so it's a difficulty 2, so you can use 2 to get a quicker effect or a more powerful effect.
More powerful. Or no, quicker. I want them to chop.
Okay, so yeah,
Start-
as soon as
it's
you
a scurry.
look to the crowd and state your request, then you have 4 commoners just rushing to race to be the first to get there to start the cleanup process.
Just because I love that I found all these. Let me see.
All the
here.
sayings are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, help set the scene for sure.
So I'll just stand up on the steps. I am not asking for blood. As you see, I can take your blood. I am asking for your souls. Only you can give me your souls. Give them up for the Emperor.
So you hear everybody sort of, many people in the crowd sort of chant along with you, "For the Emperor! For the Emperor!"
All right, excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tally ho.
So yeah, you've
Get enough of a positive following, might be able to requisition an order, for equipment.
yeah,
And-
that's how
and-
it works.
And
yeah.
reinforce the Ecclesiarchy.
Yeah. You build influence and then
Yeah.
roll, requisition. Yes.
Heck yeah.
Cool. Okay. So the crowd's obviously getting behind you and beginning to see Constantina as representation of the Emperor's will on their Holy Enoch, the Shrine World. And so you've really created a stir among the people. So keep in mind that it's still late at night. There's not a whole lot of people, but your actions have drawn the attention of anybody that was nearby in a building or in a tent to come out and check it out. And so they've all sort
It'll
of
start to spread
joined into the
tomorrow.
crowd. Yeah.
What's going on out here?
So, meanwhile, the 4 of you head towards the Ecclesiarchy watch station. as you approach the Ecclesiarchy watch station, you see a rather large 2-story building, about 50 meters wide. It's surrounded by a sturdy wall, but most of the gun emplacements all of the gun emplacements once there have been looted or taken down. So it's basically just the wall itself and the watch station. So you can see within fires burning from the first floor and the second floor through the windows to access
Controlled
lights.
fires?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
about to say, why is the building on fire?
Yeah, and you hear a lot of activity behind the wall as you approach. So we will find out what's inside the watch station next time.
Oh, all right.
Thanks, Josh.
Heretics.
Right? Hunt them down, planet to planet, systematically eradicate their existence.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-Sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.